Hello guys, welcome back. Today I've got something quite special. I've got a slot machine, and before I get accused of copying PG5, if you just stick around you'll see just how different it is. So as it says, one iron is one play, so I can just chuck my iron in here, and then every time I play, you'll see 3 items come out. If they match, then you'll win. So as you can see, it takes 1 iron every time you click the button. And so as you just saw then, 3 items come out. They get tested, and if they match any of these, so if they're 3 apples, 3 carrots, 3 melons, or 3 diamonds, then you will win the corresponding prize, which is spin again for an apple. You get a piece of gold if it's a carrot, an emerald if you get 3 melons, and a diamond if you get 3 diamonds. And so if we're lucky, we'll get one of these soon. You can play it pretty quickly. Obviously, if you spam it, you will break it, but I mean, yeah, it's pretty quick. Hey, we've got 3 melons, and now you can see it will go and check it, and once it realises that we've got 3 melons, it will give us an emerald. Now, if I just jump around the back, you will just see just how incredibly small this is. Now, considering that this is a fully functional slot machine that is completely silent except for the pistons that fire when you win and the dispensers at the start, other than that it is completely silent. So bear in mind that the bulk of this is just this where I've got the gold blocks, these 4, and these are all tileable, so these 4 are just identical, and you'll see why that is in a minute. So basically what happens is when you press the button, the signal comes around here, goes for a monostable, so it just creates a short pulse, which releases 1 out of here, and this bit in lapis is actually completely optional. You don't even need this. You can just get rid of this and then just put in 1 at a time into the dispenser. But I think it's just a bit better this way. So every time you do that, if you put in the correct item, it will let it out. So if I just take this out and put in dirt, then you'll just see nothing will happen because it knows it's not iron. So it will create a pulse up here. Now what happens when you send out this pulse is the 3 dispensers fire. So all the items go down here, and they won't go into the hoppers that are below them because these are by default locked. Now when you press the button, the signal comes down here and is turned off by this repeater, and after 10 ticks or so, this will let it out, so you get a chance to see if you've won, and then it will let it through here, go into the hopper chain and go along here. So the hopper chain is just down here, and it leads down into this item sorter. So if it detects each of these are single units, so if all the items will go into their corresponding one. So if it's an apple, it will go into here, and every time 1 goes in, it will let 1 more down here, and then that will also create a pulse. So it will basically put 1 down here, and then obviously accept the new one, which means that you get you're back to the normal. So each time this happens, each time an apple goes in, it will create a pulse. And if there are 3 pulses, which will obviously be the winning one, 3 items will come in here, and this will create the signal that will be long enough to get to here, and it won't go to any of the others. And this will create a pulse by going through the piston, and then that will just go along here and send an item out of the dispenser, giving you your prize, which you can obviously select yourself just by putting them in there. Now you may be wondering how the signal works, because it doesn't usually work like this. Basically, I've selected 3 items. Signs can be go up to stacks of 16. Boats can only be only in 1, so you can't stack them. And not any wood planks can go in stacks of 64. So when either of them are in groups of 2, the signal will not be long enough. However, when you've got all 3 of them in there, the signal will be 4. So that's why it's set up like this, and it's actually really convenient, and I've worked out that that is the best way to do it. And that will just create the pulse. Now also over here, the one bit that I haven't explained yet is just this little bit, and all this is a pulse lengthener. So when you press the button, this basically resets it, so any items that are in here from last time will go back, and so these hoppers will be unlocked for a long enough time to go back into there, so you can start the system again. So finally what I've done is just set these 4 outputs even out, so you can just each go to a dispenser or a dropper, so it just goes up and it pops through the floor. And this one on this side is actually just set to spin again, so when the pulse comes up here, it just sends the signal back round and basically starts the whole thing again. Now you can actually manually change the odds if you'd like, so basically that's done in here. So as you can see, I've just got 2 sets of each item. However, if I did something like this, then now there'd be a much greater chance of getting an apple. There'd be a 1 in 3 chance, because there's 3 out of 9, of an apple coming out, whereas there's only a 2 in 9 chance of the other ones coming out. So if you wanted, say, the apple, which is only spin again, to be more prominent, then you just do this. And if, say, you wanted fewer diamonds to be lost, you just take it out, so now there's only a 1 in 9 chance. And basically you can work out the full odds by multiplying them together. So the chances of, like this, the chances of apples is currently 1 in 4 chance of it being an apple. And if you take that every time, there is a 1 in 16 chance of 2 of them being apples, and then obviously a 1 in 64 chance of all 3 of them being apples. So bearing that in mind, if you divide that by 4, you get 16. So there's technically a 1 in 16 chance of you getting 3 items of the same thing. So that's not bad, and basically you can just customize. Obviously, you can customize your paying system by just changing this up here, and you can customize, as I said, you can customize the output just by knocking this out and putting the item that you want shot out there. If you do change what goes in here, so the item that people see, that can also be changed. If you change it up there, you also need to change it down here, because this is obviously the item sorter, and them items will end up down here. Now, one final thing to note is you can actually expand this much further. So if I just put blocks on like this and just expanded the exact same design out one more and put the hoppers in the same sort of way, then I can actually make it so there's 5 items. So at the moment, as you've seen, there are 4. So at the moment we've got diamonds, carrots, melons and apples. However, if we added another one, you just put it in there. Obviously, you probably, as I said, you want the odds to be whatever you want them to be. But yeah, you put that item in here, and then you do the same thing for down here, and then that will just mean that you can do even more items. So you can have up to 9 different items coming down here. But bear in mind that the odds will be ridiculously small if you did in fact do 9, because there'd be obviously only a 1 in 9 chance if you did that. So if you do 9 times by 9 cubed, whatever that is, so 81 squared, 81 times 9 even, I'm not quite sure what that is, but that would actually be the odds of getting 3 of one of the items, which is pretty low, but you still can do it. So yeah, and that is also, as I said earlier, you can actually just take items out of there and knock entire rows off. So if you only wanted 3 different variations coming down, you could just take off an entire row. Now this may seem like quite a hefty build, but to be honest, compared to most slot machines of this kind, this is actually pretty small, and you could realistically build this in survival. I mean, I know it's not preferable, it's a bit big, but this is actually quite possible, because this over here is just a repeatable design. So if you just imagine these as just one, this bit's actually really simple to build. So it's actually quite a simple thing to build. So there obviously won't be a direct tutorial of how to build it, because it's quite big, it'd take a while, but you know, you can get a good look of it now, and there will be a world download in the description. So feel free to take that and have a little play around with it yourself. Diamond, and then as you can see, just give it a couple of seconds and it will shoot out a diamond for you. Now that is all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, because this one is actually a really nice build. So if you did enjoy this, please do give it a like, and obviously subscribe for more inventions and such. So that is all, and I will see you next time.